Hello there, folks. Welcome back to this channel, which is all about helping you become the best trainer, presenter, workshop facilitator that you truly can be in your industry. In today's video, I want to talk to you about something a little bit unusual, bit of an epiphany, an aha moment that I had recently when I was actually looking and unpacking and understanding the learning process or the whole training, I guess, process that the brain goes through, or what actually happens for a member of your audience when they are actually learning from you. Now, we often hear terms like hormones, like chemicals, like neural pathways and things happening in the brain, right? But recently I attended a bit of a workshop, bit of a seminar, and they were talking about the chemicals that get fired off when various things are happening. And they were talking about the idea that ultimately first impressions will really color whether or not somebody is ready to learn from you and will continue to be open to learning from you and whatever your topic may be. Now, that got me thinking. That got me thinking that there's a couple of hormones or couple of chemicals that actually get fired off and have to fire off in order for someone to learn something, right? Now, the first one that we're going to talk about is oxytocin. Oxytocin, right? Now, if you are someone that owns a dog, maybe you are, maybe you aren't, but if you don't own a dog, I'm sure you can imagine because you've probably seen the puppy dog eyes, right? Now, I raise this because whenever a dog is showing the puppy dog eyes, ultimately, when you connect with that dog, in your mind and even in the dog, it is proven scientifically that oxytocin is fired up. And you have that deep sense of connection with that animal. Now, humans are exactly the same. So when we connect with another individual and we have that moment of, wow, this person really cares about me. Wow, they have a vested interest in me. Wow, they actually give a shit. That sense of deep connection, that's the oxytocin being fired off. And when we are in a training environment and we get a sense of, wow, the trainer really cares about me. Wow, my existence matters. Wow, I feel like I belong. That moment is really where the commitment is solidified, where there is sense of oxytocin being fired off, right? Now, that alone will not, I guess, create learning, so to speak, but it is a fundamental principle that adults need to feel like they belong or they feel like the trainer, the leader, the influencer actually cares about them. Now, let's add on to that. The next thing is we need a bit of dopamine, folks. We need to do dopamine. We need to feel like a sense of achievement has actually taken place. Now, we will often, say, oh, I don't have enough motivation or enough dopamine. Dopamine can't get off the couch, right? But essentially, a big part of dopamine is actually a sense of pride and a sense of achievement. And as we are actually training and teaching people in a workshop or in a training environment, if there is a consistent sense of pride, a consistent sense of achievement, guess what, folks? Oxytocin, dopamine coming together, people are going to stay in your room. But if there is no sense of curiosity, wonder, motivation backed up by a sense of, wow, I've just achieved something, then people are going to give up on themselves and not come back. People's motivation will not continue over the long term. So, as a trainer presenter, what does that mean? Well, it means create some dopamine in your audience. What do we do? How do we do that? Well, we help people recognize their own achievements and actually recognize how far they have come. Now, the formula doesn't stop there because if it did, then people would really just feel great about themselves, but actually not achieve anything significant. So, what do we need to add? Well, we need to add a little bit of cortisol. Now, we will often say the cortisol is the stress hormone, which it absolutely is. And We need to simply be willing to actually raise the cortisol just a little bit so that a learner does have a little bit of challenge, a little bit of stress, a little bit of stepping outside their comfort zone. Now, you don't want to raise the cortisol so high that somebody has a fight, flight, or freeze moment. That's certainly not what you want to do. But you don't want to be keeping people in like that comfort state forever, because as we all know, when we are actually learning or when we're actually doing something that's unusual or different, cortisol will be fired off, right? So as a trainer, presenter, coach, facilitator, mentor, influencer, whatever you want to call yourself, you need to be willing to get people to step outside their comfort zone just a little bit so they can be exposed to new ideas and develop new neural pathways in their brain. Now, I'm not a scientist. I'm not a neuropsychologist or whatever you may want to think is the expert in this field. And you may even drop a comment below and say, Mark, you're full of whatever. Right? But I just noticed that when you Google hormones and chemicals in learning, these three consistently come up. There needs to be a deep connection with the influencer. There must be some sense of oxytocin. There must be some sense of achievement, fulfillment, and a little bit of motivation to get you engaged in the process. And last of all, I will postulate there has to be some sense of cortisol in there in a little bit so that the person is stretched a little bit, but they are not stretched so much that they get into fight or flight. This formula seems to make sense. And if you're someone that's more knowledgeable about the topic than I am, go ahead, drop a comment. But I just thought it's a pretty cool thing to think about, because as a trainer presenter, what do you need to do? You need to create that connection. You need to equip and empower people with great skills and belief about themselves. And you need to create some scenarios that meet all of those three criteria. Oxytocin, bit of dopamine, bit of cortisol, and you got the learning process in a nutshell there. Hopefully you got some value from the video. I'm pretty excited about the topic. Go ahead, like, comment, share if you think you got some value from the video. Let someone else know about it. Create a discussion about it. What's happening in the rain stays in the rain. Just thought of that there. On that note, folks, thanks so much for watching. Like, comment, share if you got some value. Let me know. Let other people know. And keep being awesome. Thanks for watching, team. We'll see you on the next one. Bye.